Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Main Event Podcast, the only podcast you need for all your weekly updates, news, information, rumours and entertainment surrounding the WWE. I'm one of your three hosts, Reza, and joining me as always are Arif and Imran. How you guys doing?
Hello, I'm good. Another week, another podcast. I'm good.
And good evening to you all, because we're recording currently at midnight.
Yep. I'm glad you guys are okay. This is episode 15 of the Main Event Podcast. A small milestone, but a milestone nonetheless. So big feat for us.
Episode 815.
Yep.
I'm sure it's episode 14.
It is 15. Maybe because you missed one for some reason.
Oh, when you were in Mexico and you left me in the studio? Yeah.
We need to clarify. We didn't leave you in the studio.
We lost you.
Yes, you got lost. We just happened to pack our bags without you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a milestone nonetheless. And of course we wouldn't be at this stage if it wasn't for the very few avid listeners we have. As we've always said, even if one individual tunes in every single week and listens, we are more than happy. And a big thank you to the fans and friends of the Main Event Podcast on Facebook and every other platform we're on. Some of the comments and feedback we receive are brilliant to read. We appreciate every single one of you for sticking with us and spreading the word for us. Even if the WWE is not your thing, so thank you.
Even if you like TNA or that goddamn awful ROH.
Yeah.
ROH is good.
Really? You're already the NXT guy. You can't take ROH as well.
And the secret Total Divas. He just watches the products we don't want to watch.
Oh, we need to talk about that later. We will talk about that later.
Okay. As you know, we upload our content to a variety of outlets. Our website, YouTube, Podomatic. Those of you with iPhones, iPads, iPods or iTunes in general, you can download our podcast every week. BlackBerry users, you can download our podcast as well. Our content has been approved. That should be on the BlackBerry podcast store right now. We've actually not checked because nobody has a BlackBerry now.
Exactly. So I don't even know why we're on the store.
I have no idea. It's better to be out there than nowhere. We're also on Stitcher now as well. You can download the Stitcher app, add the Main Event Podcast to your playlist and listen to us on the go. Here you can just, as you play the stream, wherever you are.
You know what they say about Stitcher? Stitcher is better than stitching your eyes closed.
Who says that?
It's the tagline on the website.
Really?
Don't check it.
Let me check it.
Don't check it.
I'll believe you. You can download the free app, iPhone, iPads, Android devices, Kindle Fires if any of you have those, or you can visit their website www.stitcher.com to download or listen to all of our episodes, which of course we are extremely proud of and surprised. So
now, Reza, I'm glad you mentioned the Kindle Fire, because in the Kindle Fire HD you can actually tap a little assistant button where you'll chat to a live assistant. What you can do is you can speak to them and ask them directly to download the Main Event Podcast straight to your ears. It's actually quite an amazing service, and we're the first podcast to do that.
Is it the ginger woman we see on TV?
It is the ginger woman, yes, but I didn't see her ginger hair because I'm not a racist.
What? There's no racism here at the Main Event Podcast.
Yes, it's Black History Month. No racism at all here.
Exactly.
Anyway, as always, we want to hear from you in any way and every way possible. You can like us on Facebook at the Main Event Podcast, on Twitter at TME Podcast, send us an email at tmepodcast@gmail.com. Arif is still waiting.
Just hoping that there'll be an email sent.
And of course, please visit our very own website, www.tme-podcast.com.
Podcast with a P.
Here you
you can actually go to www.com/TME podcast.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's linked.
Yeah, don't do that. Here on our website, you can just look at all our latest content, information. If you can't go on YouTube and iTunes, our podcasts are on there as well, our latest ones. So please do get in touch. We want to hear from you more and more as time goes by. We hope you stick with us as we continue to try and become a recognisable WWE podcast. Hopefully we will reach that status one day.
Yep, and if you don't know how to do any of those things that Rosa just asked you to do, then how are you listening to us right now? Whoa.
Yeah, think about that. So technically you're doing it right now.
Yeah. So if you can do it now, you can do it every week.
Another big thing is...
We're free. We need to mention that we're completely free. It doesn't cost.
Exactly. We stay up.
Unless you want it to cost.
What?
Yeah, I think the fans know that if they've already downloaded it, which makes the last 5 minutes like pointless.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, that's true. That's why Imran's here, because we just go off track.
I'm the voice of reason.
We do have some good stuff lined up for you.
And I'm the voice of the reason.
just like we do every week, we have these guys talking nonsense, but we do have some good content as well. We've got the reviews, the news, and of course discussions on certain topics. Last week we previewed the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which of course took place a couple of nights ago. This week we'll be looking back at the event, the good, the bad, and the very bad as well.
And the ugly.
And the ugly. There certainly were some bad points to go over. Along with that, we're going to be looking at another feature which we've been thinking about, which is the top money drawing dream match in the WWE. We'll get to that a little later, so stick with us. But yeah, as you know how this podcast always begins. The first 10 minutes is always Imran doing what he doesn't like doing.
Save the best till first.
I don't like doing. I like doing this.
Oh, you like doing this? But
Yes.
why do you always complain? But yeah, here is Imran with the worst wrestling show on TV, but the greatest review you will ever hear on the Main Event Podcast about SmackDown.
Yes. SmackDown. And
Gareth's asleep.
what SmackDown it was. Well, SmackDown opened from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and straight into a match with Daniel Bryan. And he takes on one half of the Real Americans. Nope, it's not Cesaro, who I was hoping it would be. It was Jack Swagger, who targeted Daniel Bryan's injured shoulder, and yep, he was wearing a bandage around it. But not to worry, because Daniel Bryan gets the win with a knee to the face. Then Vicky Guerrero comes out with Kane and congratulates Daniel Bryan. She awards him with another match for later on tonight, but says it's happening right now. And that match is against Cesaro. The match begins. It's a good match. Swagger and Zeb Coulter get thrown out, but the referee keeps Kane still at ringside. And no surprise, we see where this is all going, and it leads to a disqualification as Kane interferes and choke slams Daniel Bryan, just like we saw on Raw.
Yeah, no, I'm disqualified. That was last week on Raw.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was on SmackDown. Reused. We got a backstage segment with Renee Young and Christian, where he says he's in a bad mood and he's very desperate. He rips into the fans saying that they won't give him one more match, so he's going to be doing it himself. He's going to give himself one more match, and he's going to win the Chamber, win the title, win WrestleMania, even if it's the last thing he does in WWE. Next, we get the Bray Wyatt coming out. He sits in the dark, rocking back and forward in his rocking chair. He says the Shield are like dominoes. When one falls, the next will fall. He says that they tell people to believe in the Shield. But how can they believe in the Shield when they are crawling on their hands and knees looking up at the Eater of Worlds? Follow the buzzards. I like that segment. And, well, that was the best bit of SmackDown, basically. Next up, we got the Wyatts. They beat Mysterio, Cody Rhodes. There was a Sheamus backstage promo where he sounded like he was drunk, basically. Then we got some sort of dance-off between Emma and Summer Rae. Somebody won. We all lost.
Yep.
Then Dolph Ziggler was in a match against Titus O'Neil.
Maybe this is Ziggler's big push.
Yes, no. Darren Young distracted Titus, letting Dolph Ziggler get the win that nobody noticed.
Wow.
Then we got one of the Usos beating the Road Dogg. Well, Road Dogg.
Well, as I said, there
Road
only
Dogg.
is one Uso.
Oh, you
Yep.
didn't know?
Yep. Then we got the main event finally, which was Sheamus versus Christian. And it was a very, very long match. I timed it. It was 17 minutes long. It was okay. Very back and forth. Sheamus did like 5 moves throughout the whole match. The same 5 moves.
Sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
Christian was never going to get the win. And that was SmackDown.
1-800-fella.
Yes. It was horrible.
Fair enough.
Oh, you liked SmackDown.
I do. And it was horrible. This was horrible.
Wow.
So what was the, if there was, what was the best part of the episode?
It was where Bray Wyatt came out. He was rocking on the chair, saying something about the Shield.
Okay.
That was about it. Yeah.
So no,
Like even their match wasn't that great either.
so there's no standout match.
No, there was no. Well, I don't know. The first match was okay. Second match was okay because of Daniel Bryan.
And Cesaro.
Cesaro did good, but like we've seen it all before. It's not entertaining.
Mm.
There's no surprise in Kane kind of standing at ringside and like, interfering in the match. And this I don't know.
I
It
agree.
was a mess.
So
They have to go a different way with the whole Kane, Daniel Bryan, Triple H scenario at the moment, because it just doesn't make sense that Bryan would just sit there and take Kane coming out every single time for the same sort of outcome.
Yeah, as in I really do like SmackDown because of the matches, and this SmackDown offered me nothing.
it's bad when you consider it was the last show before the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania as well. Where
I think people forget though that SmackDown isn't really their A show, so we don't really expect much. I mean, the main go home was from last week's Raw, which was the whole 12-man battle out segment that they had.
Yeah. So the key thing here is, Imran, what rating would you give it?
I actually wouldn't.
You're not going to rate it?
I wouldn't.
Wow.
Unrated. SmackDown unrated.
Yeah.
Rated.
So I don't think there's a better time than now to move on to the pay-per-view, which took place on Sunday night.
Elimination Chamber.
Yep. The final stop before WrestleMania 30, the 30th anniversary. You'd expect this pay-per-view to be really good. But we did start off with the Elimination Chamber kickoff match, the pre-show, if you will. Cody Rhodes and Goldust taking on Curtis Axel and Ryback. They did bring out Larry the Axe Hennig, which I thought was a nice touch for the Minnesota crowd.
There were reports all week about how the WWE didn't want Curtis Axel to get the babyface reaction that he would have got, and obviously that wasn't true.
And
So dirt sheets, you were wrong.
And then you see Larry the Axe Hennig coming out and slapping fans' hands.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. And nevertheless, Cody Rhodes and Goldust did pick up the win. The first match of the night, championship was on the line. Big E taking on Jack Swagger, who had Zeb Coulter in his corner, Intercontinental Championship.
American Jack Swagger.
I don't know what you guys thought. I thought this was a pretty decent match, better than I
I
expected.
hated it.
Really?
I didn't like it at all.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to kick off the main card.
No, I thought it was kind of stiff. I just thought it was kind of repetitive.
I really like the psychology in this match. The whole idea that Swagger didn't want to get too roughed up, so he kept jumping out the ring, kept taking his time, being very methodical, but in the end, Big E was just a stronger opponent.
I think Swagger, this is probably some of the best work I've ever seen from Swagger.
Yeah, and he was in the main event of WrestleMania one, yes.
Exactly. He was a world champion, and this... credit goes to Zeb Coulter, though. Really
Swagger
managed.
bomb.
Actually, that's true. He won the Elimination Chamber last year.
Exactly. But yeah, as I've said, Big E did retain his championship. That was never going to go any other way.
Yep.
More titles on the line. This time, the WWE Tag Team Championships. The New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, defending the gold against the Usos, which
Singular.
Usos, which we've identified a mirror is involved every time the Uso competes.
Oh, you didn't know?
This was back and forth. I enjoyed parts of the match. Some parts I didn't really like. I want to know what did you guys think of this match compared to the first as well? I prefer the opening match to this.
I found it okay. I enjoyed bits of it. There were bits where I didn't.
But you like SmackDown, so Arif, what do you think?
The psychology again shown in this match was entertaining because you had Road Dogg playing that sort of character that's a bit like, why am I getting beaten up? Stop beating me up.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'll dish it back out to you. Whereas Billy Gunn plays a bit of the airheaded, oh, well, I'm just here for the sake of it. And the commentators play that off really well as well.
Yeah.
The Usos aren't showing enough emotion for me.
Okay.
I enjoy watching them, but they're not showing enough diversity to make them stand out. But I guess I enjoyed the match overall, but I think Usos could do better.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Like, I do enjoy the Usos, but there's not much diversity in their moves, in their actual matches. And yeah, I think that held back the whole match. But I'm not sure if you noticed this, guys. There was one point where Road Dogg yelled, "That's old school Punk," and that started off a massive CM Punk chant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so would you say you're happy?
Appropriate? Are not appropriate? Oh, wait, are we not talking about CM Punk either? Are we doing what WWE does? Sorry.
Oh,
I
sorry.
mean, we're not talking about that person who left. We're
Yeah,
not
Well,
clear.
no.
he's been all over the WWE network.
Yep.
So
Knowing you guys, I'll be talking during the new segment. There will be a little CM Punk chant at the back, trying to distract me. So you guys would say it was a good thing that the New Age Outlaws retained right now.
Yep.
Fair enough. Singles match now. Titus O'Neil, his new heel turn, taking on former partner Darren Young. I like Titus in this. Short match, but he looked good.
He didn't look great because his opponent wasn't a great wrestler. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That was probably the biggest worry. Nevertheless, I think if the WWE don't drop the ball with Titus and his heel run, this could be something good. But he is quite old now. What are you, 34, 35?
Yep.
is he really?
He's pretty old. Getting there.
Hey, he could be another Batista.
Who knows? Next match, possibly the match of the night, match of the year. Even though we're only in February, 6-man tag team match, the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan taking on the Shield, consisting of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Fantastic match.
Some huge high spots.
Brilliant.
High spots in this match. Really well done.
I have no idea.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Luke Harper doing dives out the ring as well. I mean,
Yep.
you can see everyone putting their bodies on the line, Spanish table breaking.
Yes, I mean, there was one point where Ambrose and Bray Wyatt took the fight to the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, that was nice to see, and that played into kind of like the whole storyline that's been going on as well, which I loved to see. Yeah, which I loved seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously that got progressed on Raw as well. But I mean, if we go back to the actual ring aspects of this match, so when everyone was in there, I just loved the idea that the Shield were very much like a well-oiled machine in the corner, and they kept tagging and attacking, tagging, and just kept the opponent in the corner and just kept them there. Whereas the Wyatt family were very strange. You had Luke Harper pulling, dragging people across the ring. You had Eric Rowan seemingly psychotic with his moves. It worked so well. The two styles clashed so impeccably, and it just felt perfect for this point in. To be fair, I wish this was the WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I mean, before the actual match began, we had "This is awesome" chants. You know, just to show like this was a huge match. It was a huge, big feeling match.
People were looking forward to it, and they did not disappoint.
Tag team matches, especially 6-man tag team, haven't been really popular until now.
I think with these guys though, it's different because they are a 6-man tag. They are 3-man tag team.
Some of the most exciting superstars we've seen as a trio. But the interesting thing is, this match had nothing on it, as in no turn, no gold or anything. This was the second longest match of the night, which was really, really good.
Wow.
But yeah, the Wyatt family did win. Bray Wyatt eventually getting the pin on Roman Reigns out of all people, which was interesting.
It didn't make him look weak at all.
Exactly. Because he did power out of the Sister Abigail the first time. Second time a little unlucky, but very well played. Then we had, I don't even know why, I think we did say there'll be a Divas match thrown in somewhere.
Wow, what was this?
And this was...
Who's the writer for the Divas?
I have no idea.
Can we get him fired? Or her?
I don't know. It was AJ Lee talking about Naomi's eye and whatnot. I think Michael Cole made an error saying she needs surgery. She doesn't need surgery for her eye.
Michael Cole.
But yeah, Cameron came out dancing. It just didn't look that good as a single diva doing what the Funkadactyls should be doing. But yeah, Cameron did win by disqualification, so AJ Lee does retain a Divas Championship. There were a few odd looks between her and Tamina Snuka at the end. Towards the end.
I think,
AJ.
To be honest, I think they chose the wrong challenger in Cameron.
Yep.
As in, she looked awful in the ring, to be honest.
You haven't.
Does this
She
mean
looked
it's going to be
awful.
Naomi versus AJ at WrestleMania? Because please, why?
Naomi can wrestle, but there's just
No, but
no. There's just
there's no storyline there.
Exactly.
It's not about wrestling these days. They should know that, because if the storyline is solid, then you don't have to be the best wrestler. Look at Bray Wyatt. You don't have to be the best. Look at Eric Rowan.
Yes.
I think with the Divas is when AJ Lee did drop that brilliant promo, they didn't really advance a lot from there as much as they could have. That way, the Funkadactyls could have been played into it, but the fact that they've not advanced from that right now, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Who's getting a match and why they're getting a match? There just has to be one for some reason.
Yeah.
The penultimate match, Batista taking on Alberto Del Rio.
I'm not gonna lie. This is what I call my cup of tea match. This is the match that I actually walk away and make myself a cup of tea.
Well, this is the sort of match the way you'd go and make a cup of tea, come back, realise it's still on, and then go back and make another cup of tea, come back with two, and then pour them down your pants.
If you want, that's personal preference. But yeah, as expected, Batista did defeat Alberto Del Rio in a very short match. I think that was around about 8 minutes. Then we did finally move on to the main event. The one thing we were hoping was that someone would attack Christian, someone who resides from Minneapolis.
Oh, and they had that segment. The only person with a segment was Christian backstage with Renee Young, and I just thought, this is it. This is the moment. It has to be.
And there was nothing.
Nope.
Actually, before we talk about that, there was one guy who had a couple of segments, actually. Bad News Barrett.
Surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Bad News Barrett had a great night.
Whose podium seems to have broken.
Played it off well.
I've got some bad news. My podium's broken.
I'm won over now by Bad News Barrett a bit. A little.
Happy holidays!
He needs to wrestle. That's my only issue.
Yep.
Yeah,
who's he going to wrestle and when, though?
That's the thing. There's no one for him.
He's going to Bad News WrestleMania and get attacked by Hulk Hogan.
I think Bad News Barrett is just too generic. There's no one he can specifically target apart from everyone in the audience, which he does really well. There's no denying that.
So who represents everyone? Daniel Bryan, book it.
Do it.
WrestleMania, book it.
They both need a match. Well, it looks like they do. Arif will get to that. But yeah,
we'll find somewhere on your car for you, buddy.
Moving on to the main event, Randy Orton defending his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against John Cena, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and unfortunately Christian, who, as we said, we did hope he was attacked, but that wasn't the case. A good match. Surprisingly, Sheamus was the first eliminated. Even more surprising was by Christian at the 26-minute mark. Then Christian was eliminated. Thank God.
Yeah.
I think that was through Daniel Bryan with his running knee.
The move that pinned John Cena.
Yep.
Give it its proper name.
The move that pinned John Cena. Is that the tag we're going by now?
That's its official name.
On the main event podcast or?
On the WWE website.
Oh, okay.
www.com/TME podcast.
Oh, okay. This Cesaro was eliminated by John Cena, who submitted to the STF. I thought Cesaro was a decent match. He
had a really good show.
He looked comfortable in the main event slot, especially in a match such as the Elimination Chamber. He did some good moves.
I don't know. Was it me or did it seem like Sheamus was competing against Cesaro? As in trying to take the spotlight off Cesaro at times.
Didn't
because
work.
Obviously Cesaro went for these big moves, these big grapples, these strongman moves. And then Sheamus tried doing the same.
Didn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't mind it though. I actually don't mind Sheamus. I think he's decent in the ring, and I think he deserves a lot more than he gets.
But I think he's more...
I think he's really overrated.
He needs his heel days back. When he first began, look how awesome he was.
Yeah, he needs that aggression. Now he's trying to be that serious, but then comedic person.
1-800 fella.
Exactly. But yes, Cesaro was eliminated by John Cena. Then we saw the inevitable happening. The lights went off. Arif, can we have the sound effect?
Yeah.
And the lights turned on. It happened twice, didn't it? When it happens twice. Sorry, my apologies. And the Wyatt family in the ring attacking Daniel Bryan, attacking John Cena. Randy Orton just watching from the corner like a scared little girl. And we saw the Sister Abigail being hit on John Cena, and eventually Orton slithered over to Cena's lifeless body and got the pin.
Perfect.
Elimination. I thought it was played really well.
Yep.
Then we saw Kane coming out, sending the White family to the back, Bray laughing in his face, I thought was really good. Then Daniel Bryan decided to dive on Kane. Bad move. Daniel Bryan had the championship won, but Kane decided to pull the referee out, and that followed by an RKO. I'm guessing, was it Kane hit Daniel Bryan? Bryan turned around, was hit by an RKO.
I think that was, yes, it was.
And that ruined even though we knew Orton was going to win. Two of us did anyway.
Yep.
That topped
Well,
off.
hold on, Imran. Yeah, you didn't say Brian.
We'll get to that in a minute. 1 second. I've not forgotten this. I want to beat him, man. But yeah, Randy Orton did successfully defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So he will be heading to WrestleMania. The match itself, guys, what do you think? How do you think it played out?
The match itself, I liked the match. I thought the eliminations happened quite later on in the match, actually.
Yeah, they're too late and too sudden. The 26-minute mark, 27, 30. Yeah. There's only 10 minutes that happened.
Exactly. In the space of 10 minutes, like...
I personally didn't want a 6-man free-for-all. I wanted at least an elimination or two before the guys were out of the pod.
The only reason it made sense was because Orton came out last.
Yeah.
And when he came out last, it was nice to have that everyone looking at Orton thinking, oh my days, we want to take this guy out as soon as possible.
Oh, Sheamus did that brilliant bro kick through the pod as well.
That looks... Do you know what? That would have looked better if you didn't have to knock it down afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Daniel Bryan went through about 8 pods.
Yeah, exactly.
And there were only 4, so I don't know how he managed that. Christian coming off the top looked really deep. That was probably his best ever frog splash.
Yeah.
It wasn't a frog splash. It was just a jump off the cage.
Still.
And land on, yeah.
A gutsy move. A gutsy move.
Still.
Yeah, it's good. I think as a whole, the event was predictable. Certain suits I did impress. The White family, very impressive. Shield, very impressive. I thought Titus looked good. Cesaro looked really good. I'm not happy with the event as a whole. Could have been a lot better. And as we said, the best match by far. Cameron versus... No, I'm joking. The White family and the Shield. That match itself, I'm debating 4.5, 5 star. I enjoyed it that much.
Wow.
Me personally, I said this pay-per-view, keeping in mind it's the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, but I was looking to get a 3 from me.
I
enjoyed it slightly more than that, but okay.
As in with me, I absolutely loved the Wyatt family versus Shield match. I thought that was a absolutely superb match. It was so all rounded. If you want to do a match, WWE, that's how you do one. That's how you do one. Get it right. I will give that 5 out of 5. That match. This pay-per-view, I would give it 1 out of 5. Not happy with the outcome. Elimination Chamber is supposed to be a chamber.
Dangerous.
Not outside interferences. So,
and you can tell how they
came.
came.
I like the Wyatts, but...
It's funny because you know how the White family really came in. And the referees are like, oh, how did they get through the door? When clearly you opened it.
The door was open. You can see the door was open.
Or it was a supernatural force that the Wyatts use.
The door was open. You can see it.
Or it could have been the latter. You know what? This is the problem I have with people and wrestling at the moment, because everyone seems to... Yeah, exactly. The same problem I have with myself, to be fair. Everyone seems to hate on things like this when it's wrestling and it's fake, and that's fine. And then we have storylines such as Batista versus Randy Orton. And yeah, we're not happy with it, but everything else they did on this pay-per-view was entertaining enough for it to be okay. For a good road to WrestleMania pay-per-view. Don't get me wrong, we are spoiled as wrestling fans in general. Obviously, this is the one time where we've thrown our toys out the pram and we hate everything. But, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but it was still very, very good. I mean, like Imran said, the Shield versus Wyatt match was amazing. I really enjoyed the Chamber match. I thought the storyline was very, very well played out. I enjoyed the Big E, Langston, Jack Swagger match. I thought there was one big up-and-comer versus one guy who is ready to put Big E over. I thought that match was great. I even thought the pre-show match was decent. I thought that having Curtis Axel get the babyface reaction he did just added a new dynamic to the entire contest. And yeah, in general, I really liked the pay-per-view enough to give it 3.5 stars.
Interesting. Well, me and I are quite similar, Imran. Going different.
I'm one of those fans that's just been crying and moaning about the last few pay-per-views. I'm not happy with them. Not been happy.
Talking of
for a long time.
Still in the Elimination Chamber, final talk on this. I just want to cast your mind back to our last podcast. Our predictions for the event.
Yes.
Arif, if you want me to read out the predictions and scores, I will.
I would love for you to do that, Reza.
I'm not happy with the first one, obviously.
Can I just ask, like, because we did this in the past few pay-per-views,
yes.
And I got most of them right. How many am I winning by?
Well, currently I don't even know because you won the first event and me and you drew the second. So technically it's still 1-0 to you.
Yes.
Technically.
No. Now let's not get it twisted. It's 2-1-0 because I'm on 0, but that's about to change.
Okay, 2-1-0.
I think that's probably the fairest way to do it. Let's not forget me. I've not just been knocked out from not winning the first one.
So Imran, before the chamber, is winning 2-1-0.
Yep.
The Rhodes Brothers versus Ryback. So Arif picked the Rhodes Brothers, myself and Imran picked Ryback, so Arif 1-0 up.
Would you look at that?
Yes, would you look at that?
Somebody is eating their words now. Nom 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 nom.
Beginner's luck.
Arif winning right now. Next, clean sweep for Titus. Another clean sweep for the New Age Outlaws. Clean sweep for Big E. Clean sweep for Batista. We didn't do Cameron and AJ because even if we knew, I wouldn't have.
I would have, but then I would have said AJ Lee by disqualification. So obviously. I think you should just give me the point anyway.
That's not. Then we have the Shield versus the Wyatt family, where Arif picked the Shield. Myself and Imran picking the Wyatt family.
Yep.
It's all square again.
Yes.
Until the chamber, where myself and Arif picked Randy Orton and Imran pricked. He picked Daniel Bryan. So I'm guessing that means...
But that means...
Me and Arif...
Reza, you and I...
are... Well,
we're coming...
That means it's 2-2-1.
Yep.
Heading to WrestleMania.
Uh-oh.
Imran.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Arif,
it doesn't matter how it feels.
And with that, we want to know what you thought of the Elimination Chamber. Please let us know. And with that, we can finally get on to the following night, Arif's Monday Night Raw review.
Oh, and this is going to be a very, very long Raw review, and I apologize for that because we had the pre-show and the post-show. But I'm going to try and make it as entertaining as possible. And please stop me at any point, guys, if you want to discuss any of the many, many things that happened on Raw. So here we go. WWE Raw live from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Can we discuss that?
Sorry?
Can we discuss the fact that
yeah, sure. Yeah, please.
Green Bay is a great place.
Yep.
They have...
part of Wisconsin, which I have spelt Wisconsin.
Same difference.
Incorrectly, apparently. Yep. We get the first ever pre-show, kicking us off with Josh Matthews, Booker T, Alex Riley, and Ric Flair. Two of these things are not like the others. Spot who doesn't belong. They talk about Hulk Hogan being backstage and hosting WrestleMania 30, so that is therefore announced officially right there on the pre-show. In the ring, it's Kofi Kingston versus Reza's favourite loss earner, Damien Sandow. And surprise, surprise, it's Kingston that wins as Sandow looks dejected. The King interviews Kofi as the panel discuss the feuds coming out of Elimination Chamber. Cue beginning of Raw. Michael Cole welcomes us to Monday Night Raw, and out comes the Hulkster to start us off. Yep. Hogan gets a huge pop and enters the ring. And here's my impression of his first promo in a WWE ring for 7 years. Oh, God. Well, let me tell you something, brother. I want to let everyone know, with Green Bay as my witness, tonight marks the turning point, TNA reference right there, of my career. I'm officially home, brother. Okay. Hogan mentions that he was part of the WrestleMania 1 and begins to fumble his words, mistaking the WWE Universe for the WWE Network. He then announces himself to be the host of WrestleMania 30, which we already knew, before shouting his classic, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" Nice little nostalgic segment there.
Yep.
I thought it was a
But
good return.
yes, I thought it was great. It was great seeing Hulk back in WWE.
It's the music, isn't it? I guess everyone's singing, whether it's in their head.
When it
Uh,
comes crashing
oh,
down
what
and
happened?
it hurts
I mean,
inside.
like, I think Arif watched TNA
Yep.
whilst he was
I didn't
there.
even miss him. Didn't even miss him.
Yep. You didn't?
Uncle Terry, that's what we call him in our house. Uncle Terry.
No, but I watched TNA as well when Hulk Hogan was down there, and he looks so different now that he's back in WWE. He feels like he looks like a whole different person.
Mm-hmm.
It's the old Hulk, the real Hulk. So,
Well, if you hurt his friend, then you hurt his pride. He's got to be a man. He can't let it slide. Anyway, WWE Network plug at the announcers table. We get Kane versus Daniel Bryan later, and Del Rio versus Batista announced as well. In fact, the latter is up next. Batista gets huge boos again during this match. Afterwards, Randy Orton and his music hits to distract Batista into being rolled up for the pin. And your winner is Del Rio. Orton grabs a mic and talks about how the fans hate Batista, and a CM Punk chant erupts out as Batista says, "I love this business. If the fans cheer me, I cheer them back. If they boo me, I boo them back. Deal with it." Heel turn. Why? Why are we having a heel versus heel match? Right. Oh, God. Why? Oh, my. Why? Anyway.
I hope he gets cheered when he's a heel.
I really hope he does. I kind of wish that Orton got cheered, even though he's the heel. Just like every single Cena.
Would you say it's too late to turn Orton face?
No,
Unless the authorities screw him over in the build-up. Who knows?
Who knows?
Cesaro versus Big E is up next, and the ending comes when Big E attacks Swagger on the outside, leading to interference by the All-American American, who places Big E in the Patriot lock, causing the disqualification.
Teases.
Big E wins. Yep.
Certain
Teases everywhere. Cesaro looks dejected, but gets to hit the neutralizer on Big E before chanting, "We the people."
Without Swagger.
Without Swagger, who looked straight at him and got really annoyed. The only way that Swagger can. Out comes John Cena as we watch a recap of the Wyatt family interfering in last night's Elimination Chamber match. Cena calls out the Wyatts and isn't disappointed when Bray comes out. Yeah! Now, I love the way that the Wyatts popped up on the Titantron and Bray made it personal when he said, "Green Bay, we're here." It just made it even better.
Compared
not
to
just
his...
the same segment over and over. Yeah.
Really good.
Bray Wyatt grabs a microphone on the outside as he addresses Cena. He likens John Cena to a modern-day Superman, calling him a hero that saves people and attempts to keep them safe. But then he states that Cena is a liar, and that the world is in fact a terrible place, which is actually cold and dark. The Wyatts are the Reapers of Death, to which Cena tells them to come in and fight him. Bray, Harper and Rowan surround the ring and attack their enemy. And Cena looks legitimately injured after this fight, as the Wyatts dispose of his carcass. It looked like he genuinely injured his leg.
Oh, is he? Is he injured?
Guess we'll have to find out later on. Sheamus versus Christian is up next. Oh, wow, great. Sheamus hits a bro kick on a mid-air Christian for the win. Hopefully that's the end of the storyline, but probably not.
It'll continue on SmackDown.
And it will be the same match on SmackDown.
And then Raw. Yeah. And SmackDown. And then Raw.
And then WrestleMania.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then we'll get a 30-second match again, where Sheamus wins. And Christian retires.
If only.
Book it.
Easily.
Earlier tonight, we get Renee Young interviewing the Authority about the WWE Network. Daniel Bryan runs in and shouts at Triple H, demanding a match against him at WrestleMania. And the game reminds Bryan about the chat they had regarding A-plus players, saying that he'll try and find a spot for him on the card. Oh, isn't that nice? The Shield backstage. Rollins and Reigns ask Ambrose where he went last night, which Ambrose replies by asking why they don't trust him. Dean walks off, and the Wyatts pop up. Reigns challenges Bray to a match one-on-one tonight without any outside interference, and Bray accepts. Kane versus Daniel Bryan time now. Bryan is still sporting the arm injury he had at Elimination Chamber. Bryan fights off Corporate Kane and hits the move that pinned John Cena for the win. And after the match, Bryan challenges Triple H again to a match at WrestleMania. What do you guys think of this?
It's better than not having a match, I guess.
Well, he hasn't accepted yet. It could still be
I guess.
Daniel Bryan versus Daniel Bryan.
I'm not happy, but I'm not overly upset.
Honestly, as soon as
On the
he
fence, was
Pardon? I am on the fence.
announced that, I kind of realised that whole direction that they were going for before the Royal Rumble, that was coming true, and I'm not happy about that. Like, I would have wished them to move away.
I mean, we could still possibly get, because now we have two heels in the main event of WrestleMania, we could still possibly get Bryan has to beat Triple H to move on and face Randy Orton for the title in a triple threat.
I guess it's interesting to think what would have happened if CM Punk was still here.
Yeah.
What would the situation have been? Maybe Punk...
Well, it would be Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Right?
Yes, that's exactly what it would be.
So that could be a good thing that he's walked out.
It could be a good thing, and also other good things. Emma versus Summer Rae happens.
Oh. You know you do the dance, Arif.
Are we not doing the discussion? No? No? Emma wins with the Emma Lock. Yep. Her move is called the Emma Lock.
Creative.
It's her name with lock at the end.
Razak.
Emma Lock.
The Imran Lock. The Arif Lock.
Exactly.
Camel Lock.
What?
Who do we know who's called Camel? Do you not see the... I don't understand. I don't think you get it.
I'm sure it's the name of a move.
Camel
not...
Clutch.
Oh, Camel Clutch. My bad. Sorry.
No, well, okay. Well, yeah. The Usos defeat the New Age Outlaws in less than 30 seconds thanks to a huge super kick come splash for the win. And they get booed for this because they interrupted the New Age Outlaws. It's me, it's that D-O-double-G. Straight out rocking with that A-double crooked letter. Anyway, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a decent match, which was ruined by the crowd. Okay, now hear me out. Yes, they were chanting all night, stuff like CM Punk, Y2J, Jerry, JBL, all the normal stuff that crowds these days do, and we were no different when we went to watch Raw, so I can understand why they did it. However, they were shouting out during a match between two characters who have shown a hell of a lot of talent, and a hell of a lot of love for their talent, and a hell of a lot of character, and a hell of a lot of personality in the ring and outside the ring. And I just thought that this wasn't needed. Do it during a Batista match because you hate Batista for leaving. Do it during a Triple H in-ring segment because you want CM Punk back or you want Daniel Bryan in the main event. Do it during a Dolph Ziggler versus Damian Sandow match because at the moment they're not pushing them, so then why bother? Do you know what I mean? But don't do it. Please don't do it during this match. I know people pay their hard-earned money to go and watch wrestling and they should be able to say what they want and do what they want, but respect credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I mean, that's one reason why I didn't enjoy the match, because the crowd wasn't into it. The crowd, like...
It can make a big difference. A huge difference.
They do. They really do.
Yep.
I think it's good to see the future going one-on-one as well.
Yep. I mean, the ending does come with a jet, and Eric Rowan and Luke Harper come down to ringside, but they get attacked by Seth Rollins.
From nowhere as well.
Wow.
Really...
He leaps over the ropes, and he just looked like...
relevant.
Yes. Like, even after the pay-per-view yesterday, he looked relevant. But...
I think since the Rumble. He's done that since the Rumble as well.
I think he's building himself up because he doesn't really have a storyline in this. He's more of the middleman in this whole thing. But yeah, Ambrose finally comes out to help his teammates, but ends up rushing to the ring to attack Bray Wyatt as well, causing the DQ and the win for the leader of the Wyatt family. So Bray picks up the win twice in 2 nights. Have to build him up for John Cena so he can get beaten. Yep. The Shield clear the ring after the bell. And we finally get our final segment of the night, and it's Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman, who is with the Beast, states that Lesnar has been given a consolation prize from the Authority. It's a contract to fight anyone he wants at WrestleMania, and quite frankly, it's just not good enough for Lesnar. They decline the offer. Suddenly, a gong sounds. And I didn't think I would enjoy this as much as I did. The lights turn out, and The Undertaker is here on Raw. Now, we did know that The Undertaker would be here. I think it was announced at some point, but they never really spoke about it on Raw, so I thought maybe they'll just throw a curveball in here and he won't turn up yet. But he did. Taker comes down to the ring and looks up at the WrestleMania sign. Lesnar signs the contract, hands the pen to Taker and smiles. Undertaker proceeds to take Brock Lesnar's hand and impale it onto the contract with the pen before hitting the chokeslam through the table to end the main show of Raw. And we finally get to see Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
It was inevitable after so many matches in the past.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. Lesnar played off to be shocked, but then as if he wanted it so badly that he signed it.
Yep.
Paul Heyman's going to play a big part in this.
You want to do it? You want to do it? Let's do it.
And they're doing it. It's going to happen. Let's hope.
It's on.
Undertaker looked good as well. I mean, like a demon.
Very scary.
Yes.
No, he looked scary, but he looked so old.
No, I don't mean physically. Physically, he's getting worse and worse. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I agree with you there, yeah.
He actually looked pretty scary. It's the goatee.
Yep.
The facial hair worked.
Yeah, he looked like the demonic Ministry of Darkness Undertaker.
Yeah. Yep.
But, if you've been listening to the podcast for the past few weeks, you would have known that I'm not a huge fan of the rumoured Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar match, but I have to admit I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited for the match. It's looking quite promising.
There's one positive towards
can we just say one thing actually? Slightly earlier in the show, if the Triple H Daniel Bryan match does happen, and it's for, I don't know, a spot in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship picture later on in the show, and he does win it, and then he faces CM Punk, hey, I'm already on my way to getting my first ever Theory of the Week, right?
We'll see.
Just saying.
We will see.
Yeah, lad, that's gonna happen.
We're well on our way to WrestleMania now. I personally thought it was a decent Raw. A lot better than I expected it to be after an average Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Well, would you like to hear the post-show?
I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to avoid it.
There was a post-show.
We can go through that.
What happened in the post-show?
Don't say Sandow lost again.
I swear this will be the last time I'll ever review this. We get Dolph Ziggler, Xavier Woods, Kane, Lesnar, and Hulk Hogan interviews. There we go.
Really?
That was I tried to make it as long as possible, but unfortunately it wasn't interesting enough.
I think it's better if we just avoided that, as I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reviewed this show. Your rating matters. What would you give this show?
Some good segments, some entertaining segments. Obviously the big stars, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, came across well. Daniel Bryan looked strong against Kane, even with an injured arm. We got an appearance from Brock, and yeah, I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5.
That's a big improvement.
Really? 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
But guys, don't you think that this was supposed to be the big Raw that draws in all the potential sign-ups? But it was built.
But currently, that's the thing though. Currently, do you not think this is the best they could have done?
Agreed.
I don't know. The Hulk Hogan showed up once for 5 minutes throughout the 3 hours.
But you don't want to force him.
Well, yeah. What else is he going to do now that he can't do WrestleMania?
I would have liked to see him a bit more, see him confront a few people, see him...
Save it for WrestleMania, I think.
Exactly.
No, as in see him walking around, bumping into a few people, interacting something new, something to keep me entertained. They could have had that with Hulk Hogan. They had Ric Flair there as well the whole night. Do we see anything with him?
I think yeah, we can say these guys were here not for the fans, but as probably a backstage celebration that they've launched this new network. Jimmy Hart was there as well, but I don't think we saw him.
Yeah.
So it's just the things that they're going to be celebrating backstage. It is a big, big milestone for the WWE. Something that really is groundbreaking with the network. But yeah, talking of the network, which we will get into a little bit later, shall we look at the news?
My favourite segment.
The news.
After your own theory of the week, I'm guessing. It's okay, I'm
Theory of the week obviously doesn't compare to your segment, Reza.
obviously.
What you told me to say before the show. Or you fired me.
I said no such thing. Infamous Reddit user Dolphins1925, as you can guess, correctly predicted all of WWE Championship matches. Except
If I tell you that that's me, can I get an extra point in the game we had?
nope.
Oh.
He did guess all the results correct, except for one finish. The Shield versus the Wire family. He got the match outcome correct, as I said, but the finish, he did send out a tweet. Wire family and Shield is solid thus far, but I'm sure Ambrose won't be pleased when Bray Wyatt pins him shortly.
Haha!
As we know, Bray Wyatt did pin Roman Reigns. But again, he did predict every single result correctly. And talking of dolphins, I read something interesting last week.
Dolphins are the only mammal.
That's interesting to some people. But
It's also completely false.
yeah, but something interesting I read, which I don't know could be true, could be false. I could just be sounding stupid right now. They believe that the Dolphins character is a WWE superstar called Dolph Ziggler. As obviously the Dolphins name kind of fits in with his name. The thing is Dolph Insider. But I don't know if that's true. I'm guessing superstars don't know their own results until a few moments before. But who knows, it could be him, might not be him. I might just be accusing him. I might get sued if they hear this.
If you would like to sue anyone, please just sue Reza. Me and Imran can take over the show. In fact, we've been waiting for this opportunity.
I expect a letter through my letterbox tomorrow. I'm being sued.
So email us.
Please don't.
Yes,
letter.
email us the threatening letter. Yeah, perfect.
Moving on to the WWE Network. That is officially
I promise
here.
to check it.
The network. You probably write one yourself. The network is officially here. We saw a lot of teasers from Jerry Lawler and JBL. He was entertaining with that network. And by the looks of it on their screens, it looks to be pretty good service. Definitely worth the $9.99 in dollars price if you're a WWE fan.
In America.
A ton of content, guys. A ton. You can watch it pretty much anywhere you want. Really connected to your TV.
It's immense. I mean, the whole idea that you can pay $10 a month to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, WCW, ECW pay-per-views, everything you've ever wanted to watch, any documentaries, it's immense.
Yeah, they're saying that at this time there are some pay-per-views that aren't available.
Oh, really?
Right, as in they're not like really important events, but the hardcore WWE fan would want to see these events. Based on WWE, there are 4 events you can't currently watch yet. I might be wrong by the time this podcast is up. No Holds Barred 1989, Insurrection 2000, the 2011 Royal Rumble, and the 2014 Royal Rumble aren't available as of yet. WCW got quite a few. The Great American Bash 1991, Japan Super Show 91, 92, 93 aren't available. When Worlds Collide 94, Collision in Korea 95, and the Millennium Final, which was German only pay-per-view in 2000. Oh, it's alright, Aaron.
Millennium Final.
I can honestly say I've heard of one, which is the Great American Bash. So I probably won't be watching the others. ECW, the Massacre on 34th Street, is also not available right now. But as we said, the content does look really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's been upscaled to HD as well, so
Exactly.
should be really good.
A lot of people have purchased this, and they have started counting the statistics. And the WWE Network have listed the following pay-per-views as the 10 most popular right now. So from yesterday,
Here we go.
Can you guess what is number one? But I'm guessing someone like Imran has already read. So Arif, can you guess what's number one?
WrestleMania 29.
It's ruined my moment, don't you? Yeah,
Is it not? It must be, because that was last year's WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 29 is the most popular, which we saw Rock versus Cena 2.
Then it was WrestleMania 28.
You've done. Leave this to me.
Damn it.
Undertaker taking on CM Punk at that event as well. Number 2, WrestleMania 28. Rock versus Cena 1. Undertaker versus Triple H in Hell in a Cell. Number
WrestleMania 27?
Nope, the 1992 Royal Rumble, which was the only Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship being on the line.
Ah, Ric Flair. Woo!
Number 4, ECW Heatwave. We saw Masato Tanaka taking on Mike Awesome in a Dudleyville street fight. Interesting.
Wow.
Number 5, WrestleMania 27, Miz versus John Cena, Undertaker versus Triple H. That was the last time the Miz was relevant. So you might want to hit up number 5. Boost that up the rankings. Number 6, Extreme Rules 2012. That's when Lesnar took on Cena, Punk took on Jericho. Number 7, SummerSlam 2002, which was Schumacher versus Triple H in a street fight, and Brock Lesnar taking on The Undertaker as well. WWE Royal Rumble 2013 was number 8, which was CM Punk losing his WWE Championship to The Rock, which Imran still hates. Number 9, WrestleMania 6, Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, and the 10th most popular as of today, 2000 Royal Rumble, which was Triple H versus Cactus Jack in a street fight.
So hold on, no WrestleMania 17 on that list?
That's surprising, actually.
Not in a day. Who knows, maybe by next week.
Because that was my favourite pay-per-view of all time.
By far, one of the best.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was shared by a lot of people.
Who knows,
maybe it's because everyone's seen it a number of times.
Maybe it was number 11.
Could be, yeah.
Who knows? This is the top 10. There was some talk of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view on Sunday that they had Jack Swagger, if you noticed, he did a big boot and a leg drop during his match.
Oh, shadowing the future.
They were planning on doing something between Swagger and Hogan. Nothing happened on Raw. Maybe in the coming weeks.
Nothing happened. That I hate that.
But we've got to wait till WrestleMania for that. I think giving it away for free is a bit of a...
I thought Zeb Coulter could have been doing something interesting with Hogan.
Sneaking across our borders.
Yep, I think it'd be pretty cool. We'll see if anything does happen. The word going around on Raw from last night is that, as I said, they could be turning Batista heel very soon. The original plan was to turn him heel at WrestleMania 30. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. But recent crowd reactions, as we know, they've moved things up. You might have seen it on Raw. They were hyping some big Batista announcement on Smackdown. He's going to tell the fans how he feels. Perhaps that will be the moment he turns heel. Who knows? I think
Smackdown.
Who knows? It could make your reviews.
You've got something to look forward to.
It could be. I could just
finally.
Who knows? I think the fans just won't care though. They don't want to face Batista. They don't want to heel. I just don't think they want Batista at all. That's probably the nicest way of putting it. Yeah. Coming out of Raw last night, certain matches have looked more likely to happen at WrestleMania 30. Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, even though Triple H is adamant of not getting Bryan to face him, that looked like it'll happen. Lesnar versus Undertaker is pretty much confirmed, and Cesaro versus Jack Swagger as well. Could be interesting.
Yep.
We saw teasers of a split. In the coming weeks, the split should be confirmed.
So many tag teams are breaking up now.
It's the good ones as well, isn't it?
It always is. It's always the good ones.
Talking of John Cena's injury earlier on, he's not actually injured.
Why aren't Ryback still breaking up?
There was no one to see, exactly. John Cena's not actually injured.
What?
He wasn't taken to a medical facility last night. They played up the injury throughout the show and post-show. If you failed to point that. On WWE.com.
I did say there were interviews.
Fair enough. They've hyped on WWE.com as breaking news. They've shown footage where Cena said he heard the knee pop and Cena was refusing an MRI. The injury was scripted into the show, as well as the stretcher job, and there was a fear that Cena did injure himself because it looked dangerous, didn't it? Yeah.
It looked legit, yeah.
But the WWE were scared because Cena did play it off really well. He might have tweaked.
Rosa, I'm sure, like, you texted me, scared me, saying that he's legitly injured, and I was like, what?
I did say nice at the end, which doesn't maybe sound bad. I'm sorry, Joe. He might have tweaked the knee, but nothing serious that's going to take him out of WrestleMania. So the Bray Wyatt match should go ahead. If Eric Rowan did injure him, you could probably say that's the end of Rowan's career in the WWE. Bray Wyatt would be annoyed. He could have lost Cena in his big match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our favourite former WWE superstar Sin Cara could be being sued in the near future. He's told people at this Mexican event last week that he couldn't wrestle because WWE's threatened legal action if he uses Sin Cara gimmick on their TV. I've
No Sin Cara gimmick for you.
I have no idea why I talked about that, but yeah, news is news. Yeah, you might have heard about this. I don't know if you have. Probably makes me sound bad. The Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul will be hosting Raw next week live from Chicago.
Hooray!
And finally, despite the announcement not being made last night on Raw, Paul Bearer is still considered to be a lock for the 2014 class of WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, they don't need to give it away yet, so I guess it's fine.
And with that, the news is done.
Now, I really wanted to just bring up something really quickly, and that's Total Divas. Because
Really?
Iran convinced me to watch a couple of Total Divas segments this week. And they weren't very good. And that's all I wanted to say.
Really? Is that what you actually said?
Okay,
Yes.
what I actually said was, this is the most weirdest, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, but it did make me laugh in a I feel sorry for these people sort of way.
Who specifically?
Yes.
And Natalia and her pee job and the Bella Twins and their finding a certain instrument in the bed job.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
That's
WWE is
all
supposed to be PG.
That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
But
You're excited,
I guess
aren't you?
it's-
16th of March is coming back. You're excited?
Yes.
well, I need to catch up on the first season. Yeah, and I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, I guess it's time, guys, for the most eagerly anticipated segment. My favourite segment, of
Bedtime.
course.
Oh,
Well, it's
no?
actually the theory of the week, Rosa. Why are you no-selling my theory of the week? You no-seller. You're just as bad as JBL.
JBL's quality. Last night was anyway.
Anyway, theory of the week. What else is there to say? Dolph Ziggler has been placed in mediocrity, along with Damian Sandow and a bunch of other talent. And it looks like Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose at Mania, with maybe Seth Rollins, either a special guest referee or extra talent added to the match as well. All in all, my theory this week is to do with the current state of the WWE. You see, most years it makes sense for the WWE to put huge matches on the card for WrestleMania, but not this year. This year they're guaranteed buys from the WWE Network traffic. And so it only guarantees that Daniel Bryan will not be in the main event for that reason. They can elongate the story purely because it's best for business, and that is there to guarantee the progression of the WWE Network. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have some bad news. Daniel Bryan will not be in the main event of WrestleMania. Oh, and also CM Punk will come back at some point. End of theory.
That was so tense until the CM Punk quote.
I know, right? I tried to make it entertaining.
Tried.
Is the key word. Everyone loves to try it on the main event podcast.
Honestly, in all fair honesty, jokes aside, it does make sense because they're going to get guaranteed buys because of the network. So why would they need to worry about buys for?
I mean, how much
would they?
How much is WrestleMania in America? Is it $50 or $30?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, for $10 more, you get 6 pay-per-views.
Exactly.
That's what their commitment is at the moment, 6 months. So I mean, really, people will pay for 6 months, even if they don't enjoy the product at the moment, or they may hate the fact that Daniel Bryan isn't in the main event, purely because of the fact that it just makes sense, because you never know what will happen.
Yes.
And also, even if you don't like the current product, you get the access to the back library of shows that you just can't find anywhere else.
Yes.
Mm.
Old
It just makes
shows, new
sense.
shows, they've got a heck of a lot to offer.
Yep. I mean, I know. As soon as the WWE Network appears here in the UK, I'm gonna start watching the old Raws and Smackdowns during the and the WCW events actually during the Monday Night Wars era.
That's going to be the
It's
key
going to be
program.
immense.
Yeah.
And even slightly after that in the invasion angle, I really enjoyed that. I can't find there's no documentary about that. So
Well, yeah, that's true. That's
so things
actually
like that you can't put a price on the back catalogue in a sense, but they have done,
Yep.
and it includes all the current shows as well. It's
It
perfect.
includes the big one, WrestleMania.
Exactly.
It's going to guarantee buys, yeah.
Yep, it's true.
Yep.
If you do agree or disagree with Iris' theory, please let us know.
As always, tmepodcast@gmail.com.
I'm surprised you remember it. Final segment.
www.com/TME podcast.
That link will take you nowhere. Just a heads up.
maybe on your computer.
Anyway, the last segment today is what we mentioned a little earlier before. Top 5 money drawing dream matches in the WWE. It's basically what dream matches do you think would earn the most money? Because that's what WWE focus on.
Yep,
Really, isn't it?
it's a business.
I've just got 5 matches here. I just want us all to try and agree on which will belong at number 1, which will belong at 5, and fill in the middle as well. If that would be
Let's
okay
do
with
this.
you guys. We've got The Undertaker and John Cena. But first off, do you think that would make money?
Yes.
Yes.
These are all WrestleMania matches, by the way.
Well, it'd be pretty silly if this was on NXT.
Yeah, I'm just saying. The Rock versus Shawn Michaels, something we've never seen before.
Have we actually not seen that before?
Never. It's never happened.
It needs to happen.
Shall we say?
It's a bit too late for...
As I was saying, shall we say these guys are in their prime?
Okay, there we go. That changes things.
Yeah. The Rock, Shawn Michaels will make money.
Yep.
John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ah. I would replace John Cena for somebody who's not in the... Well, he is on the roster, but he's not really showing up on Raw. I don't want to say his name.
But yeah, just you might want to let me finish.
Okay?
We've got Hulk Hogan and John Cena.
Okay.
And
That's good.
what I'm thinking I was getting at, CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's on
Yeah.
that list as well.
Okay, yeah.
What about the Hogan-Austin match?
What about it?
Was that never on the agenda?
It may have been number 6.
Ah, I see. Well, anyway, out of the 5 that you've chosen, I think we can all agree that the biggest money-making match on there would be Cena-Austin or Hogan-Cena. It just depends on who the bigger draw is, and I honestly think that Austin is right now.
Biased, I'd agree. If I
Yeah.
was biased, I'd agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, would we all agree that Cena-Austin would be the most likely to be the biggest drawing out of the 5?
I think so.
Are you talking about in their prime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I would say Hulk Hogan and Cena.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Well,
Only because you're talking about 2 of the biggest stars of their decade, the 2 biggest icons of wrestling. They represent the same thing, basically. They have the same build, same wrestling style even.
But then, is that not overkill with them? I see. This is why I said Cena Austin, because it's a clash of styles, and it'll be entertaining for that. I mean, we've had a clash of styles on the last pay-per-view in recent memory, and we really enjoyed that with the Wyatts and the Shield. And I think it would be a similar sort of thing as this. It would be very, very quick-paced from Austin's side, and then very slow and methodical from Cena. And I think that would be very entertaining to watch. Whereas Hogan Cena may be a bit too slow for the average fan.
for the sake of this argument, in the article, I've put Hogan and Cena number one. As I said, if I was biased, I'd put Austin.
Yeah.
But I've put Hogan only because of the fact that they're different eras, different generations, and they're both the faces. They're both the role models, and they had a massive following, both of them. And I'd say Hogan and Cena have had connections with audiences that probably Austin hasn't. Or they've higher levels than Austin has. Obviously, Austin has.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I like Stone Cold, so I probably would have put Stone Cold and Cena top. But for the sake of this, I had to go with Hogan and Cena.
Fair enough. And then Austin Cena number 2, Rock Michaels 3, or Taker Cena 3. Because if we do that, then Cena's in the top 3, which isn't right.
As in, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love Shawn Michaels. I think he's great. But not when compared to the likes of The Undertaker, not when compared to John Cena.
What?
Yeah.
You think Michaels isn't as good as... Oh, wow.
No. As in, he is as good, but Cena is a bigger moneymaker. And that's what we're talking about right now. Like, we'll get a better match of Shawn Michaels, like we've seen him give Undertaker 2 times in 2 years. But John Cena is going to make more money.
I guess that makes sense.
Fair enough. I agree then. And then
Yes,
Punk
I
Austin
agree.
last then, I guess.
Punk Austin, just for the sake of it, the article actually had Hulk Hogan and Cena number 1, Punk and Austin number 2.
Oh, wow.
Both badasses of their own era, both break the rules.
But then you're breaking your own rule because money drawing is the question.
I think Punk can draw enough money, and Austin, 316 shirts, speed themselves.
Cena is technically a bigger draw than Punk is, and Austin is Austin. So I think you've got that completely wrong.
I would agree with you there, Arif. The article is wrong.
And you know what though, Imran, we're allowed to agree on the fact that Russell's entitled to his own wrong opinion.
I guess so.
Yes.
Yep. I guess at that point, that was just not important then, what I was just saying. But yeah, if you do agree or disagree, let us know.
I do give the article a read. Obviously, he's justified it a lot more, and it actually really is a really entertaining article.
So sweet. It's the nicest thing you've said to me.
You'll find it on www.com/TME podcast.
You'll not find it. It's not there.
No, it is. It's on. Well, it's not directly there. You have to click a link on there, and it takes you to www.com/TME podcast x748x2l.html.
Yep. But really, if you really want to read it, you can go on www.gamesport.com/Reza/Ghazi, and you can see all my articles there. Mainly WWE now. And yeah, please like and comment and everything else you can do on the articles. And the same applies for the podcast as well. Do everything you
visit
can.
us on Facebook at The Main Event Podcast, Twitter at TME Podcast, TMEpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to email us, I'll always be here and I'll always be waiting. And you can visit us at www.tme-podcast.com. Podcast with a P.
And now we are on the way to WrestleMania. Not many more podcasts left until we hit WrestleMania.
On the long road.
But we still will be here with all the news and information you guys need.
Your one-stop shop for all things WWE Network. You can visit the network through our website.
You really can't.
We have an official
link.
No?
No, not yet.
What?
At least it's good. I was dreaming big.
Yes.
That's what matters here. Yes. Follow your dreams.
That's what we try and teach you here at the Main Event Podcast.
And with that, I think it is a great time to end it with Arif going off on one. It's late.
As always.
Late night.
As always. Yes.
Well, I'm just visiting our website. www.
There's no www.com website or anything. We're not affiliated with them.
We do have a website.
We do. Yes. www.tme-podcast.com.
Podcast with a P.
And with that, we will see you next week.